Well, hello from the National Archives Public Programs and Education team, and happy St. Patrick's Day. My name is Missy McNatt, and I'm an education specialist in Washington, D.C. And welcome to the National Archives Comes Alive Young Learners Program. You can find information about our future programs on the National Archives website, archives.gov, under Attend an Event, and on the National Archives Facebook page. This morning, we meet the founder of the Girl Scouts of the United States of America, Juliette Gordon Low, portrayed by Betsy Means, actor and artistic director of Woman Lore. The Girl Scouts were officially founded on March 12th, 1912. So this year, 2022, is the 110th anniversary of this inspirational organization. And Juliette Gordon Low and the Girl Scouts have inspired young women for many years by encouraging leadership, community service and outreach, environmental awareness, health and wellness. And in more recent years, encourage young women and girls to learn about science, technology, engineering, math, and the arts. The National Archives has in its holdings records related to Juliette Gordon Low. And the birthplace of Juliette Gordon Low in Savannah, Georgia, belongs to the Girl Scouts, and it is on the National Register of Historic Places. And you can find it in the National Archives catalog. But did you know that the First Lady of the United States is the Honorary President of the Girl Scouts? On this next slide are two photographs of First Ladies with Girl Scouts. One is Lou Hoover with Girl Scouts in 1913, and the other is First Lady Michelle Obama with Girl Scouts at the first ever camp out on the White House lawn in 2015. What a fun event that must have been. On the next slide, we see a compilation of photos of First Ladies with Girl Scouts in the 20th and 21st centuries, and they can be found in docsteach.org. I encourage you to check it out. And here is our featured activity for today's program in Docs Teach, and we will share this slide again at the end of the program. So we will have a question and answer session with Juliette Gordon Low at the end of her presentation. So please write your questions in the YouTube chat box. We have a National Archives staff who are monitoring it. And let us know if you are or were a Girl Scout and where you're watching from. This program is brought to you by the National Archives Public Programs and Education team and the National Archives Foundation. Now, imagine the year is 1920, and you are about to visit with Juliette Gordon Low on Lookout Mountain, Georgia at Camp Juliette Low. And you will have an opportunity to walk through the woods, cook your meals over open fires, and sleep under the stars. Now, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to the founder of the Girl Scouts of the United States of America, Juliette Gordon Low.
Welcome to Lookout Mountain. It is so beautiful here today. I love Georgia, and I love this camp. It's named after me, Camp Juliette Low. Camp Juliette Low. But everybody just calls me Daisy. My girls call me Miss Daisy. My girls are out right now in the woods. They are studying plants and animals. That is God's work in nature. Tonight we'll sing songs around the campfire. We'll feast on fish and cornbread and turtle eggs. We'll tell the girls ghost stories. I'll tell the girls the true story of when I lived in Scotland in the haunted Scottish castle, the Castle Menzies. It was haunted by a handsome Roman warrior ghost. Or I'll tell those girls my favorite story, my girl's favorite story, true story about my great-grandmother, Eleanor Lytle McGill Kinsey. My great-grandmother, at 9 years old, was captured by Seneca Indians. She lived among the Seneca Indians for 4 years. She was the sister of Chief Corn Planter. She even had an Indian name, Little Ship Under Full Sail. And until the end of her days, she remembered her playfellows and her family among the Senecas with great affection. Tonight, I'll walk into the girls' campground and I'll tell the girls' fortune. Good bit of wisdom's given that way. Tonight, the girls will tiptoe out of the tent and sleep under the stars. Scouting is not about flags and drums. Oh, I hate war with every fiber of my being. It's about the wilderness, about being outdoors, where every breath of heaven can reach you, and all wild things are within easy reach. Fresh air is your great friend. Imagine everyone's surprise when Crazy Daisy Low founded the Girl Scouts of the United States of America. Who would have thought that scatterbrained Daisy, who had health problems, could barely hear, would begin with 2 small troops and build an international organization? I am so thrilled that my Girl Scout movement is flourishing. Right now, I am the president of the Girl Scouts of the United States of America, but I believe that the organization needs new leadership now that we've got a good, solid national organization. Oh, now that's going to be hard for me to let go of control. I'm an autocrat. I know that I am. I'm so sure that my way is right until some other way is demonstrated. But now that we've got a good, solid national organization, I think that it's time for others to take charge. That'll be hard for me to let go of control. But we must always consider what is best for our girls. Scouting is a game. The vital point is that every part of the organization remains flexible. We must never forget that scouting is a game. I will be remembered as the founder of the Girl Scouts of the United States of America. That will be the proud part that I will play. You want to give anything into this world? You want to get anything? Give anything? Every single person must do their part. Every little girl is a part and parcel of our whole great nation. One of our girls may sometime alter the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. Ah, look what's up there. There's a beautiful bird up there. I'm going to get out my binoculars. We Girl Scouts like to study nature. All right, let's see what we have. Oh, my word, that's a brown thrasher. That's the Georgia state bird. Veruginous mockingbird. I learned that from Professor Walter John Hoxie. Professor Walter John Hoxie helped me write the first handbook for the Girl Scouts of the United States of America entitled How Girls Can Help Their Country, a Handbook for Girl Scouts. The girls read this book and learn such things as how to cook food over an open campfire, how to tell time by the stars and by the sun, how to stop a runaway horse. Hint, you don't want to stand right in front of that horse. How to get a skin off a sardine. Might not want to dip that sardine right into your hot tea water. How to brush your teeth if a crocodile has stolen your toothbrush. The girls earn badges such as the Dairy Maid badge. How many of you out there know how to milk a cow? Well, look at that. How about milking a goat? If you know how to milk a goat, that's great. How many of you out there know how to milk a chicken? No, wait a minute. You don't milk chickens. The next badge, let's see, there's the Naturalist badge. How many of you out there like art? I love art. I consider myself a sculptor. I like sculpting. Well, not but last spring, I was walking along the lakefront, and who should I see but this handsome fellow? What is this? An eastern coral snake. Black against yellow, dangerous fellow. And I sat there, I gave him a nice wide berth, and I sketched him out. You don't want to bother any living thing. Just let them have their time in the sun, literally. Well, this happened a few months ago. I was walking down the path, and right in the middle of the path, right in the sand, all curled up, sleeping, taking a nice nap, was this handsome fellow, a scarlet king snake. Now, he's not poisonous, but you don't want to be bit by any snake now, do you? Isn't he beautiful? Let's see, this is one of my favorite snakes. This is the corn snake. It's all the colors of the Indian corn. Look at that. Isn't he beautiful? He's a very good friend of the farmers. He's around the barn, and he comes out at night, and he eats the rats and the mice that would eat those farmers' corn. So grain and corn. So he's a beautiful, beautiful helper to those farmers. In order to earn your naturalist badge, you need to be able to identify 9 snakes. Let's see, there's the pioneer badge. I don't know if you know this, but my Kinsey ancestors on my mother's side were founders of Chicago. They came to Chicago, my great-grandfather, in 1804, when that fort was built in Chicago. Do you know that fort's name, what that name was? I think it was Fort Dearborn. That's right. They were early settlers of Chicago. Let's see, there's the horsemanship badge. I love riding horses. How many of you out there like to ride horses? Oh, I love it. That's wonderful. Then there's the swimmer's badge. I love swimming in the lakes. That's beautiful. A lot of good swimmers out there. Let's see, there's the pilot's badge. How many of you out there want to learn to fly a plane? We Girl Scouts, we encourage you to follow your dreams, do what you want, set your sights high. That's right. In the South, we girls were taught to sit on a cushion and sew a fine seam, but we Girl Scouts kind of breaking out of that mold. It's 1920. We women have just gotten the vote after 100 years of trying for it. And so we're saying, let's keep our sights high. We'll be great participants in the community. Let's see, what other badge? There, these interpreters badge. How many of you out there know how to speak 2 languages? How many of you know how to say hello in Spanish? Hola, hola, hello, yes. How many of you know how to say thank you in French? Merci, merci beaucoup, thank you very much. That's great. Well, my grandfather, John H. Kinsey, was an Indian agent in Chicago for the Native Americans, and he spoke 17 Native American languages. He was an interpreter for the Native Americans. That's right. Now, badges mean nothing in and of themselves, but they are a link between the rich and the poor. For when a girl sees a sister scout with a badge on her arm, and she's won that same badge, there at once awakens an interest and sympathy between them. The world looks to great organizations like the Girl Scouts to break down petty barriers of race and class. I believe scouting should be for all girls. Oh, there's another little bird up there. Okay, it's a brown one. Another brown bird up there, getting out by binoculars. Let's see what we've got here. All right. Oh, this bird loves the beautiful Georgia pine trees. It's hiding behind the branches. Oh, it's just coming out now. That is a brown-headed nuthatch. That bird is very good friends with the chickadee. Do you all know what the chickadee says? What the song of the chickadee is? Chickadee-dee-dee, chickadee-dee-dee. They are very friendly. I've seen them talking back and forth to each other. They're showing the scouting spirit. They're being nice and friendly. I like that. Look at that pretty little bird. I just love studying plants and animals. Well, I know it's going to be a wonderful day today because I dreamed of Billo last night. Billo is my deceased husband, William Thackeray Low. Oh, we all just adored Billo. Billo was beautiful he was beautiful like a Greek god. I was madly and unreasonably in love with him. Billo was he was like Scotch weather. When he was bad, he was awful. But when nice, Sweeter than summer. Well, we all adored Billo, but we felt the death was best for him, seeing as his mind and his health had just gone with that drinking. When Billo died, he left his entire estate to another woman. Against the advice of my friends, I contested that will. Nobody's going to get away with that. Eventually, I won a settlement of $500,000 and the mansion in Savannah. When you show your courage, it grows. Well, I'm not too ashamed to say it, but my marriage did not end well, and I had no children of my own. I was just an idle woman of the world with no real work or duties. All my life I had gone to dances and parties and luncheons and dinners. I was a very, very wealthy woman, but I felt that I had just lived a wasted life until one summer, 1911. I used to go over there and I rented a property called Locks on the Meganee property in Perthshire, Scotland in 1911. I used to go over for 6 months to Great Britain. I'd stay for the months of May and June at my house in London, and then I'd rent a hunting lodge and invite many guests for the hunting and fishing. Well, this particular summer, I invited a very interesting guest, Sir Robert Baden-Powell, the founder of the Boy Scouts. Sir Robert Baden-Powell was a great war hero. If you remember the stories of Mafeking in South Africa. Well, he had left the army to form and develop the Boy Scouts. And he had 40,000 boys all over Great Britain and branches in the United States and France and Germany. Well, Sir Robert and I found out that we had a great deal of things in common. We both had a common interest in sculpture, but that was only one of an almost unbelievable number of things we had in common. Sir Robert had a background in American wilderness and Indians quite as notable as those of my own Kinsey ancestors on my mother's side. Sir Robert had studied the Indian lore and the activities of the Indians, and these created the foundation of his great success as a soldier and also for the founding of the Boy Scouts. Now, all of Sir Robert's portraits, all of his writings, show him in action, essentially a man of war. But never has a human being given me such a feeling of peace. It may be because in his own mind, he was not trying to personally get anything for himself. All his activities are for mankind, and he has perhaps eliminated the effort to attain things for himself. The universe and the force that drives him to better it are the real reasons for his existence. Well, when Sir Robert founded the Boy Scouts, 6,000 girls registered as scouts. And since Sir Robert could not have girls traipsing all over the country after his boys, he asked his sister, Miss Agnes Baden-Powell, to found the first Girl Guide troop. And the first law of that troop, the Girl Guides, was they were not even to look at a Boy Scout if they saw him in uniform. Both groups encouraged good citizenship and character training. Well, when I told Sir Robert that his life had just been such a success and mine had brought forth nothing but leaves, he looked at me kindly and he said, "There are little stars that guide us on, though we do not realize it. There are little stars that guide us on, though we do not realize it." Man, I got to thinking, if character training and good citizenship is important for boys, how much more important that the girls should learn this, as they are going to be the future mothers of the next leaders and the citizens of our country. Well, I liked the activities of the Girl Scouts, and I liked their rules, and I liked the girls too. Well, I had rented this estate in the Meganine property, and I invited 7 little Highland girls from a nearby village to come to my home to learn about scouting. They came every Saturday afternoon. Each of these girls came from a lonely and remote cottage. One of the girls walking 7 miles. Still, come they did. In the beginning, it might have been my delicious teas that brought them. Oh, white bread and butter, hot buttered scones, variety of cakes and biscuits. A good tea for my girls is my basic scouting rule. But there were also fascinating things to learn. The Girl Guide Promise, the history of the British flag, how to tie knots, knitting, cooking, hygiene, first aid. These girls, all from these poor Scottish families, oh, they thought it was just a waste of time for their girls to come to my home every Saturday afternoon. They were supposed to be and stay in their cottages and help make money. These children, all from these poor families, they were often sent into the cities, into the factories, and many died there. These were outdoor children. They were used to running around outdoors and free. Well, I got to thinking about ways in which my girls could stay at home and make money. Raising chickens for the wealthy people who came to the hunting lodges. It seemed like a good idea. It was a success. Then I taught myself how to card and spin wool. This area of Scotland was a very good area for raising sheep, but the raw wool was sold at a very low price. Well, I taught the girls how to card and spin wool. Soon they were spinning so well they could spin in the dark. Then I took that spun wool and I went into London and I found a shop that would buy the wool. This started making me feel good. That next winter, in the fall and the winter, I went down into London and I started 2 Girl Guide troops. And then I decided I was going to go back to America for 6 months, and I tucked one of those little Girl Guide handbooks right into my suitcase. I was 51 years old. I had never had any sort of organizing experience in my life, but I thought, I think the girls of Savannah would like this. I thought, I think the girls of the United States would like this. The minute I got home, I got on my phone with my distant cousin, Nina Pape, who was the principal of a local girls' school. And I said, Nina, I got something. I got something for the girls of Savannah and the girls of the United States of America and the girls of the whole world. And we're going to start it tonight. Well, the next Sunday afternoon after church, I buttonholed Paige Anderson's mother, and I said, oh, Miss Anderson, I'm so delighted. You are going to be the first captain of the first Girl Guide troop. And then I ran off before I could hear that word no. I was hard of hearing, and I just never could seem to hear that word no. Then I went and I found Professor Walter John Hoxie, who was a naturalist. He had been taking the girls into the woods, teaching them how to cook food over the open campfire, taking them on nature walks. I invited those girls to my home for a nice tea, and I showed them photos of what the Girl Guides were doing in England. And before the end of the afternoon, they were begging for a troop of their own. Well, I had a carriage house behind my home, and I turned that into the first Girl Guide headquarters. And kitty corner, there was an empty lot with a basketball court, and we pulled around huge canvas curtains so the girls could run across with their bloomers and play basketball without passerbys gaping at them. Well, what else did I do? For the first 4 years, I paid for all the supplies, the office, the uniforms, whatever was needed to get the organization up and running. Well, I had my mother and 10 of my best friends be the first Girl Guide group of counselors. And on March 12, 1912, we inducted the first 2 Girl Guide, later to become the Girl Scouts, troop. It was a beautiful, beautiful morning in Georgia. And those girls, they seemed to sense the momentousness of the occasion. while I had them repeat the Girl Guide promise, the Girl Scout promise after me. So I want you to help me do this, all right? Out there, take up your hands. You're a Girl Scout, want to be a Girl Scout, ever were a Girl Scout, all right, or a friend of the Girl Scouts. Here we go. I'm going to say the first line. You're going to repeat it after me, okay? Are you ready? On my honor, I will try to do my duty to God and my country, to help other people at all times, and to obey the Girl Scout law. And then those girls signed their names. The Girl Scout laws. The origin of the Girl Scout laws has been lost in the ancient mists of history. Oh, the Japanese had their code of the ancient samurai. We have our laws of chivalry when the days when knighthood was in power. The Indians have the calumet, and the Arabs have the guest who has eaten their salt. The laws. Number one, a Girl Scout is to be trusted. What do you think it means to be trusted? That's right. When you say you're going to do something, you do something. You follow up. When you tell someone something, you say, please don't tell anyone else. You trust them not to tell anyone else. They'll keep your secret for you. That's right. A Girl Scout is to be trusted. Number two, a Girl Scout is loyal. What does it mean to be loyal? Loyal to your friends, to your family, to your country. That's right. Girl Scout is loyal. A Girl Scout is to be useful and to help others. She should do at least one good turn every single day. All right, how many of you out there have done a good turn today? All right, well, the day is still young. I think that you'll be doing a good turn to somebody before the day is out. That's what I believe. Number four, a Girl Scout is a friend to all and a sister to every other Girl Scout, no matter to what social class she may belong. A Scout should be a little friend to all the world. I was raised and I grew up in a very wealthy family. And I was over in the Marlborough set in England. My husband and I moved over there. And I saw that they were just dancing and hunting and partying. But I felt like they just didn't have any meaning to their life. There was something missing in it. I also saw a lot of unhappy, wealthy people. So I knew that wasn't really the secret to life, was it now? Number five, Girl Scout is courteous. What it is to be courteous? Say please, thank you, yes ma'am, no ma'am, pardon me. That's right. Excuse me. That's right. A Girl Scout is courteous. Number six, a Girl Scout keeps herself pure in thought, word, and deed. You don't go talking behind somebody's back and say not nice things about them. It's hard to be a human being. You think loving thoughts toward them. You have compassion in your heart. When you're walking around just thinking your thoughts, think loving thoughts. Even trees love to be loved. Everything loves to be loved. That's right. Keep yourself pure in thought, word, and deed. Help the whole energy of the planet. All right now, 7. A Girl Scout is my favorite. A Girl Scout is a friend to animals. How many of you out there know that an animal can be your best friend? I certainly do too. I have a parrot, Polly Poon, who sits on my shoulder, and I just adore this bird. I feed it, it talks back and forth, it squawks when I come in. And when I was a little girl, oh my word, I would go and I'd collect all the stray dogs and cats in the neighborhood. It just used to drive my mother crazy. And I remember one time a cow in one of our barns, it had lost its calf and it was moaning and crying around the stall, and I had my arms thrown around it and I was crying with it, and I thought, what'll make this cow feel better? And I thought, well, I think I'm going to go up and get one of my mother's quilts. So I got one of her beautiful quilts and I put it over the cow to make it feel better. Next morning, that quilt was all I got in a lot of trouble for that. That quilt was all trampled up. Let's see. All right now, number 8. A Girl Scout obeys orders. All right, here's obeying orders. Y'all are going to do not just one good deed today, but you're going to do 2 good deeds today. All right. That's an order. That's an order from Juliette Gordon Low to you. All right. Number 9. A Girl Scout is cheerful in all circumstances. Now, I know that's hard when you're walking on the trail. You got a blister on your foot. You want to grumble, but just keep your spirits up. It'll help everyone else feel better about themselves. Keep that walk going. All right, number 10. My father and my brother would say I'm not that good at this, but I think I do pretty well. A Girl Scout is thrifty. That is, she saves every penny she earns. How many of you out there know that a penny saved is a penny earned? That's right. I hope y'all have piggy banks. They're sort of fun. Keep dropping that coins, and before you know it, you got a lot of nice money saved. That's right. Saved for a rainy day, because those rainy days will probably come. Well, just think of it. From those 7 little Highland girls has come this great organization. It's growing in love and goodwill. It's like a family. Everyone doing their part to help each other. Our little girls thinking about others, not just thinking about their own material interests. If they can do that, if they can think of others, we've done a better thing than we ever thought when we first started scouting. And my purpose, because now I have a purpose. My purpose is to go on with my heart and soul, giving all my energy to the Girl Scouts. And heart and hand, we'll make our lives and the lives of our girls happy, healthy, and holy. My mind is on that organization in the future, but most of all, it's on those girls. So now, I hope you all have your hiking boots on, binoculars if you have any. We're going to go for a little nature walk here, but before we do, we're going to sing a song, all right? All right, I know you know this song. You're going to sing along with me, all right? Because I do not have a good voice, for one thing, and I only have 40% hearing in one ear. But here we go, all right. You ready? I know you know this. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other gold. Circle is round, it has no end. That's how long I want to be your friend. God bless you. Thank you so much. All right, come on, let's go out in those woods. We're going to look for the ivory woodpecker. God bless.
Well, thank you so much. That was just, I learned so much. And I was a Brownie and a Girl Scout and a cadet. And let me tell you, doing that pledge brought back a lot of memories. Even that song, I remember doing that. So we do have some Girl Scouts. We have a Girl Scout from Florida. Yeah, so I'm sure, I hope there are more on there too, and other Girl Scouts who will watch from Milton, Florida. And then we have some Girl Scout leaders, community manager of the Manatee County Girl Scouts of the Gulf Coast of the Florida Council. And we have a leader, outdoor leader of a troop in Oak Park, Illinois. So, yeah, so great. And, you know, if you want to include, if you're a Girl Scout, and I know that we have other people in the education teams and National Archives who have been Girl Scouts too. So, yeah, many of us grew up in that. So we do have some questions for you. Let's see. You were talking about your health problems, that you could not hear. How did you lose your hearing?
Well, let's see, about 6 months before I got married to Billo, I had a terrible, terrible earache, and I was told that I was given some white powder, and I said, if you put this in your ear, you'll get rid of this terrible earache. And so I went to my doctor and I told him. He said he wasn't going to do it. And I said, if you don't do it, I'm going to find someone who will. And he said, all right, I'll do it. So we put it in. I lost all my hearing in one ear. And then on my wedding day, I was coming out of the church, and one of those good luck rice went into my ear. One of those greens went into my ear, a terrible hearing problem. And then it got taken out, but I lost 60% of my hearing. So I only have 40% of my hearing in one ear.
Wow, amazing that you did all of that through the years, and and including founding the Girl Scouts. And that actually kind of brings up another question, because you were in your 50s, early 50s. By the time you found it, you had no previous business experience. So how did you manage all of that? What was it like?
Well, interestingly enough, I have some learning disabilities. I've got some dyslexia, so those words, those alphabet, they just scramble around for me a little bit. But oftentimes when something's taken away, another gift is given, and I have a gift of being able to see things three-dimensionally. I'm a very good sculptor, and also I can paint. And I could actually see the organization three-dimensionally. I could see what it could be. And I also had a real gift of choosing the right person for the right job. And I could never seem to hear that word no. So I used my deafness to my advantage. So it was a gift I had. I didn't know I had it. But I bet my great-grandfather, who had all sorts of trading posts all over the Midwest, I bet he had that too. I bet he was able to see things three-dimensionally.
Oh, well, that's really interesting. And the fact that as Girl Scouts, very early on, and you talked about this, included everybody, included all young women, all girls. It didn't matter, what their abilities, race, religion, all of that. It was everybody came in equally. And I think that's, that's an amazing organization. When I think about, it started in 1912 and has continued. And I don't know if you can answer this question, although our person who's doing monitoring did look it up. So if you can't, I'll give it to you. But the question was, how many Girl Scouts troops are there in the U.S. and globally?
Oh, and I don't know the answer to that. So that's going to be fielded to the other person.
Okay, so there are 2.3 million girl and adult members worldwide. So that's a lot, and and continuing to grow, I'm sure. And then you talked about having a wasted life until you met with Sir Robert Baden-Powell. And do you think that you were fated to meet him? Was that something that was going to happen?
I absolutely think I was fated to meet him. Absolutely. I'd had a longing. I had not been successful in many areas of my life. And so when I met him, I had a deep longing, a deep craving sort of to do something, to make my life meaningful, to have a purpose in my life, not just to float along and not have my life have meaning. So when I met him, it was the magic. It was the moment for me. It was a beautiful, beautiful gift that he gave to me.
And then actually, you're going to have to kind of break character to answer this one. So somebody's asking.
Wait. If we're going to break character, I'm going to break it totally, and I'll just become the other person. You want to do that right now?
Okay.
Right.
So, yes. Okay. So this question is asking.
I'm going to symbolically turn around. All right, here we go.
Okay. Now we are with.
Okay. Now you're talking to me, Betsy.
Okay. So the question is, what kind of research did you do to prepare for your role? And were you a Girl Scout?
I absolutely was a Girl Scout. And I think my friend Franny from Lake Bluff is watching right now from Arizona. And we were Girl Scouts, and we would go all over Lake Bluff, Illinois, and we would, get those cookie orders, and then we deliver them. And yeah, it was great. We go camping and all the good Girl Scout things. So I was a Girl Scout. And what was the first question? The
other was what kind of research did you do?
Yeah, well, Juliette Low did not write an autobiography because she really didn't write that well. So I went down to Savannah, Georgia, and I went to the Georgia Historical Society, and I looked up letters and books, and she had some speeches that were written there. And everything that you heard today was from Juliette Gordon Low's own writings. And so that is what I did. And beautiful Savannah, Georgia, it was starting to be destroyed in the 1950s. One woman down there saved it. Someone's going to know the name of that woman. But It was very inspiring, and what a beautiful, beautiful city it was. Her home is so beautiful, and it's all fresh and lovely. And then I went to Billow's home, her home that she had inherited from Billow, and where the first Girl Guide carriage house was. It's all there. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to go to. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, well, just to let you know, I had mentioned actually both the birthplace and her husband's home, the Low home, are on the National Register of Historic Places. And that, if you are interested, anybody out there in learning more, not only about those sites, but about Juliette Gordon Low's life, they are just pages and pages of that information, and they're photographs of the houses. So it's a wealth of information. Again, you can find that on the archives catalog. So I suggest that you check that out. It's great. So we are getting close to the end, and we have this one last question that we ask all of our folks on our Young Learners program, and that is, what advice would Juliette Gordon Low give to young people today?
Oh, wow. This almost brings tears to my eyes. But she would say exactly what Robert Baden-Powell said to her, which was, there are little stars that guide you on, though you do not realize it. Set your sights high and go for it. Follow your dreams. Follow your heart. Do what you want to do. Follow love. Follow love.
Well, thank you. That is excellent advice, and I know that we all appreciate it, and we'll go forth today and do all of those things, not only trying to follow our dreams, but helping out other people. So thank you so very much, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So I promised we would share our Docs Teach activity. And again, I encourage you to check it out. It's docsteach.org. You can find all these great photographs of Girl Scouts with the First Ladies in the White House. And then for our April National Archives Comes Alive Young Learners program, if you have ever been to Central Park or raced in a race there, or played there, or just walked through there, you have Frederick Law Olmsted to thank for that. So he helped to create and design Central Park, along with many, many other things. So if you are able to, please join us on Thursday, April 14th at 11 a.m. to learn about his life. And we are actually celebrating the 200th year of his birth. So he was born in 1822. So thank you for those who joined us, and I wish everyone a wonderful day.